ang Pangulo. Malacanang insists he's alive and well. But why has he been out of the public eye for a week? The Philippine Hospital Association says some medical facilities in Metro Manila are forced to turn away patients, but the health department says there's still no reason for that to happen. Aside from hospital beds, there's also an increase in demand for cremation services. Some residents in Quezon City had to line up past midnight to receive their cash aid. Barangay officials are also having a hard time implementing health protocols during distribution. And who's the richest in the Philippines and in the world? Let's take a look at this year's Forbes Billionaires list. Focused and fearless. Here's everything you need to know as you jumpstart your day. I'm Jess De Los Santos. Starting off with today's newscast with the hashtag Nasaan ang Pangulo trending once again after the cancellation of President Duterte's public address on Wednesday. A senator close to the president uploaded photos of him proving that the chief executive is alive and well. He explained that the speech was canceled due to a spike in COVID-19 cases among members of the Presidential Security Group. The lawmaker added that even Defense Secretary Delfin Lorenzana also tested positive for the disease. PSG Commander Jesus Duterte seconded the statement and reassured the public that there's nothing wrong with the president.
Masasabi ko lang po is that we assure the public that our president is safe. Andito po siya sa Malacanang. Katrabaho, he is in good health, and it's so yung mga detailed close-in security intended for him, they are safe naman. They are free from the virus. Close-in security intended for him, they are safe naman. They are free from the virus. Most of those infected actually are those PSG personnel manning our gates who are exposed daily to the local populace. So sila yon, yung mga nagbabantay po sa paligid ng Malacanang.
Durante also revealed that the PSG initially had 126 confirmed cases of COVID infection. But as of yesterday, the number has dropped to 45 active cases. Despite this, the PSG commander guaranteed that they will continue to protect the president.
Ang inyong PSG po ay puspusang ginagampanan ang aming mandato dito para mapanatiling ligtas po ang ating Pangulo sa lahat ng uri ng panganib, kabilang na po yung COVID-19. We actually still maintain yung mga health protocols na in-establish natin dito. As for the President, before meeting him, we require certain standards for all the VIPs or visitors that will be coming in to meet the President. Like, we require them to have RT-PCR test, at least within the 48 hours. Pagdating dito, may additional RDT test or antigen tests.
Hospitals in Metro Manila are now maxing out their COVID-19 bed capacity, but the health department insists they should still accept every patient seeking care. How will they deal with that? Here's a story.
Social media is abuzz with accounts of hospital hopping, especially in Metro Manila. With facilities overwhelmed, some seek medical treatment even in provinces. But data from the health department tells a different story. As of Wednesday afternoon, DOH data shows that utilization of ICU beds in NCR is only at 79%. Of the admitted COVID-19 patients, 2 out of every 5 are mild and asymptomatic. The DOH hopes to bring that down by Friday, even by 20%. To do this, Undersecretary Maria Rosario Vergere told the chiefs they are coordinating with other agencies for the step-down care program.
We were able to identify immediately isolation facilities beds where we can be able to transfer and do the step-down care program.
Hotels, local isolation facilities, and level 1 hospitals not used for COVID-19 treatment will be tapped for the program. But Vergere clarified not all mild and asymptomatic cases will be transferred.
We have to qualify this because most of those who are admitted who are mild also have comorbidities or are elderlies.
But the Philippine Hospital Association had previously claimed that they are forced to turn away patients even if they have available beds. PHA says a PhilHealth circular prevents them from collecting co-payments, which leads to hospitals shouldering the costs. DOH appeals to hospitals to consider the needs of patients.
I know that you are business enterprises, but at this time of need for our citizens, sana po nako-consider din natin yung pangangailangan ng ating mga kababayan.
PhilHealth spokesperson Ray Balenya claimed that the state insurer's COVID-19 package are based on actual treatment cost. But Balenya said PhilHealth is already in talks with hospitals for possible adjustments.
We are glad na yan ay nailapag na sa lamesa sa discussion between PhilHealth and Philippine Hospital Association. And as I said, nag-commit si Attorney Giran that we will study it. At yun naman pong pagre-review ng ating COVID-19 packages, hindi naman po yan tumigil.
Jess De Los Santos, we are One News.
The Office of the Vice President has launched a free teleconsultation service for outpatient cases in the NCR Plus bubble. With the help of doctors and call center agents, Bayanihan e-Consulta aims to provide medical attention to residents of ECQ areas. The teleconsultation service is the latest attempt of the Office of the Vice President to decongest the metro's overwhelmed hospitals. Bayanihan e-Consulta encourages patients who don't require hospitalization to stay home and simply consult with doctors via Facebook or Messenger. It's not just hospitals and quarantine facilities getting overwhelmed with a recent surge in demand. Crematoriums are feeling the same pinch, with COVID-related deaths also reaching new highs in the past days. Rome Lopez tells us how crematoriums are planning to cope with the increased demand.
What used to be a vacant lot is now filled with parked service vehicles from funeral homes. This is the scene in front of Pasay City Cemetery and Crematorium. These vehicles patiently wait for their turn to be accommodated in the cremation. Pasay Crematorium said there has been a marked increase in remains brought since March.
Nagsimula po ito nung second week ng March. Tumaas na po yung bilang ng kinikremate. Dati po, 8 lang po per machine per day. Pero ngayon po, umabot po kami ng 15 cadavers per day po per machine. Kaya po, ang aming machine po naglolok na, nagkakaproblema na rin po.
That month alone, the facility cremated 405 cadavers, when it only processed 45 in January and 63 the following month. Around 60% of these cremations were COVID-19 deaths. The facility now cremates an average of 32 bodies per day from the usual 8. The crematorium's personnel have been vaccinated against COVID-19 to ensure their safety. The facility even extended its operation until 2 to 4 in the morning to keep up with the load.
Dami na po dahil mayat-maya na po yung kinikremate. Hindi na po natigil hanggang madaling araw po inaabot.
The Pasay City local government has vowed to accommodate all cremations it could handle. Aside from Pasay, the number of cremations have also risen in Manila. From processing 10 bodies daily in February, it has now jumped to 28 per day in March. Last February, COVID-19 deaths accounted for 105 of its cremation. It has since doubled to 219 in March.
Yung February kasi usual, ang namin, na-experience namin, 8, 4 lang yung hanggang 5 o'clock, tapos yung pending namin, minsan hanggang 7 o'clock lang, hindi na kami umaabot ng mas gabing-gabi.
Then come March, paano po yung nangyari?
Ayan na, nagulat na ako, ang dami na talaga.
With the spike in its cremation load, the Manila North Cemetery has implemented the 3-shift schedule for 18 cremators to accommodate the demand. For News 5, Rome Lopez, we are One News.
Over in Barangay Batasan Hills, Quezon City, the rollout of financial aid took all night and pushed past curfew hours. Despite limiting the queue to only 2,000 beneficiaries per day, officials could not finish distributing the cash aid within the normal office hours. Notably, social distancing and the one-seat-apart policy were barely implemented. Some beneficiaries were also spotted not wearing the required face shields. Despite the pandemic, more people made it to the world's Billionaires Club this year. Forbes' list of the world's wealthiest people swells to a record-breaking 2,755 billionaires. Forbes' chief content officer, Randall Lane, tells Reuters that the very, very rich got even very, very richer despite the pandemic pummeling the global economy. The list exploded with a record high of over 490 new billionaires, a 30% increase from last year. Amazon founder Jeff Bezos remains the richest man in the world for the fourth consecutive time. Tesla chief executive Elon Musk jumped into second spot, up from 31st last year. Meanwhile, 17 Filipinos made it to the list of the world's wealthiest. Former senator and real estate mogul Manny Villar topped the list for the third straight year after his net worth grew to $7.2 billion, or over 350 billion pesos. Villar was followed by ports and casino tycoon Enrique Razon Jr. And that's how the day is shaping up to be. Join us later at 10 a.m. as we monitor the day's biggest stories from sunrise to sundown. You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Register for a free account now at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Jess De Los Santos. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.